dysfunctional, but it's not surprising. I guess we're now at the point of that we can hear your fire department report.
No.
We need a motion. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
A motion and a second. Who did?
Roger.
I'm sorry. With a,
Third is to move it.
okay. For those corrections.
I'm done.
Now we're at treasurer's report. We're not even at Keith yet.
We're,
Hang in there. Hang in there.
Not your turn yet.
I'm sorry. But I didn't think I called for a vote on the, you said we need to vote on them. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, everybody's got a copy of the treasurer's report. Any questions or comments?
I make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as printed.
Support it. Moved and supported, we accept the report as written. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign. Okay, you're on, Keith. 1 minute.
I think that's everything out to everybody before the meeting started.
Yep, we all got
Our
yours.
building maintenance, all the floors and lights have been replaced in the apparatus space. Firefighters come down here on Saturday, or Sunday, excuse me, and we put the lights down and replaced them with the new ones. And it's the first time I think I've seen the apparatus pay with every light lit in there. And hopefully it saves some money with the new T80, I think the T80 bulb.
And I can attest, they work from in the morning till late in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of hard work put in. I'm sure it saves us a lot of money.
Walk-in doors have been installed, and we'd like to get some bids on for the siding on the outside of the stage. If you take a look at the wooden siding on the outside, you see how it's starting to bubble off on the outside. What we'd like to do is maybe have somebody fasten down the old siding that's on there, maybe put some vinyl siding on the outside. We'd like to start a process of getting bids for that. I'm not sure exactly what that's going to cost. We'd just like to put vinyl siding on the front and the back where the wood is. And what we'd like to start doing that. I don't know if we need anything to vote on for that or not, or is that just something we can go ahead and start? I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure how much it is. I know we had some.
You need some estimates, I guess.
What?
You need some estimates.
Yeah, that's what we need, some type of estimate, otherwise I can't, you know.
If it's over a certain amount, then we have to.
Right. Either way, I'll be bringing it back to you
Good.
for your
Do
approval.
one side at a time.
Well, why don't you give the estimate, and then we can submit it for bids.
Yeah, we can try that. That's not a problem. Down further on the list there, we had received a $1,500 donation from Myers for some of the things that we go out there and volunteer out there to do for them. And with the $1,500, we'd like to purchase a rescue saw. What that is like a skill saw with a metal cutting blade where we can cut through the A and B posts of a vehicle, cut through the hood or cut through the roof. And we have it's like an option with our jaws as well, so we could be working with both things, or both tools at that time. And then we'd like to replace our old suction for medical use, removing fluids from the patient. And our old one is dysfunctional at this time, and it's unrepairable. We'd like to take and have those replaced. I didn't know if we needed to come to you because this was like a grant or a donation from Myers. I didn't know if you had to approve it from you. Yes.
Keith, I see on here, it says for the saw and blade, it says purchase with the $1,500 from Myers. Oh, the cost is actually over $775.
Yes, we have it on the right-hand column.
And then the cost of the pump is $500.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I didn't know if I needed approval on that. I know we had some of the rules and regulations as far as anything over $500, I had to get your approval, but this is for a donation, so. Am I going to need any approval from the board on
Well,
that?
I'll make a motion that we approve these two purchases.
No, second.
Motion by Smith, supported by Lindbergh. Any discussion? If not, you want to call a roll?
Yes. Whittaker?
Yes.
Osborne?
Yes.
Gilbert? Yes. O'Neill?
Yes.
Hamlin?
Yes.
McClellan?
Yes.
Earlier in the year, we had some money put in our budget to help purchase new turnout gear. What I'd like to do is start a turnout gear rotation for purchasing instead of waiting till all the turnout gear gets to the shape where we've got to dump buku number of dollars into that fund. I'd rather try a rotation on that, as well as like what we're doing with the pagers and radios. Instead of waiting until they all go bad, and then we have to dump a lot of money into that. So we're getting some quotes on that as well, and we'll come back to you with that. So, okay? Any other questions?
Any questions? Thank you very much for your patience.
Okay. One thing we did meet with the OC up in town with Tim Ladd and Samantha Katz, I think that's right, Samantha Katz, about the H1N1 virus and some of the precautions the firefighters should be taking on that as well. So we put some masks on the vehicles, and he's going to come up probably with some questions that Central Dispatch is supposed to be asking. So there's some things that we had met with them up there as well, and maybe put some other things in place on the rescue squads as well, as far as how to take the mask and gloves off, those types of things. So you may end up seeing us with some mask on if we get some type of call like that for our own health safety. So, okay?
Thank you, Keith. Has everybody had a chance to go through the auditor's report? Yeah, the irrigation easement, we're not even close to. I talked to Steve, we got some information from Jim White, but he thinks it's going to be another month or two before they can get that straightened out with FAA, what they want.
What happened when 2 months ago, we had an irrigation easement all agreed on, and all it was supposed to be is divided into 2 sections. If we're back to square one, where we're negotiating back and forth between Jim White and the city, then I think our committee ought to sit back down with the city.
No, there's not a problem between Jim White and the city. They're in agreement. The problem came from FAA saying, whoa, wait a minute, your appraisal says this, and the dollar amount you're coming up with is something different.
And they wanted a letter. And we asked you to get Jim White to write that 1-page letter explaining the difference between the $59,000 and the $98,000. And that's the last this board has voted on.
Eric and Jim have been working on that. I've not been involved.
That's what bothers me. Eric and Jim are working on it. It's costing us a lot of money.
Well, this, at least in talking to Steve Sobers today, it sounded to me like this is what he's interested in doing, and he's the one that said that we wouldn't be ready to work on it.
If you and Vivian and I need to sit back down with the city and clash some things out in an afternoon with the attorneys there, then maybe we ought to do it, because right now, we've been 2 months at least.
Well, for some reason, Steve isn't nearly as concerned about it as you are.
Well,
He's the one
that's
that said
not
that there wasn't a hurry. There's no reason for us to sit down. We came to an agreement. And we came to an agreement that satisfied FAA as far as in concept, but most of all satisfied EDA, so we didn't have to worry about that chance of having to pay back the $3 million grant. And now it's FAA that's got a concern about that, and Eric and Jim between themselves, I've not been allowed to, I don't pick up the phone and talk to Jim any more than, when he calls me, I talk to him. But as far as what I've gleaned from both Eric and Jim and Steve Sobers, this is what they're trying to work it out so that issue is handled, so that FAA is comfortable with the way it's laid out. The other things that were pending, there has to be, even by FAA regulations, there has to be a survey, and as Steve put it today, with pegs in the ground. And they want pegs in the ground even for the flight demarcation, which of course is way up off the ground. And he said they're going to have to get somebody they're looking way trim to do that survey and put the actual stakes in the ground, and that's required by FAA. And the other issues that they're working on are, I think, pretty close to resolution.
So when, as far as we're tabling this, obviously, because we're not making any kind of...
Well, it's not, yeah, it shouldn't have been.
When can I put it on the agenda?
When Steve says go, I don't know.
Keep putting it on there.
When Steve...
Anything that we don't act on, we kind of lose it, because we bring it up and get it on the agenda.
Yeah, and we can
then
leave
we
it
leave it
there.
off, and then it gets shoved aside, so I think...
It won't be ready to act on by the day meeting, according to Steve.
We can always table it if
Yeah.
we need to.
Yep, there's no problem with it laying there, laying on it, but